being a founding member of the Avengers is pretty much the most prestigious lineage you can have as a superhero.
Unless you're part of the Justice League.
Okay, put your Gotham away. We're doing Batman next week. Today's all about Thor.
Yeah. And Thor truly is one of those larger-than-life characters. You know, he breaks all the rules that other superheroes live by because he's not just a hero, he's a god.
Yes, but a cool god who has an enchanted hammer and a chariot pulled by magical goats and a speechwriter who seems to get a lot of his material from Jacobean plays.
And hair that belongs in a Pantene commercial. Now, as always, it is hard to pick the best stories out of a timeline that's been ditching lightning at us for the last 50-odd years, but we're going to give it a go.
Absolutely.
So here they are, Kapow's top 5 Thor stories. Seriously, dude. At number 5, but in no particular order, we have The Mighty Thor, Volume 1. This volume has my heart mainly due to the creation of Beta Ray Bill, the first being since Thor and Odin who could wield the mighty hammer Mjolnir.
Whosoever holds this hammer, if he be worthy, shall possess the power of Thor. Walter Simonson was the first to take those words literally and introduce us to a character who could match Thor for power, determination, and overall worthiness. Fighting for the survival of his people, Bill throws down with Thor and comes out on top twice, leading to one of the all-time memorable Marvel team-ups.
And proving that you don't have to possess beautiful golden locks to wield the power of a god. This story may come across as a little dated due to its thought bubbles and the characters narrating everything they do, but it does stand up as one of the great Thor stories. Stop it.
There's also a great primer to be had for Loki, Laufey's son, in these pages. Along with Batman's rivalry with the Joker and Superman's with Lex Luthor, Thor is another hero whose arch-villain matches him more with cunning than with strength.
Which, rather neatly, brings us to our number 2 pick, Loki, a 4-part miniseries by Robert Roddy and Esad Ribic.
This one really strikes a chord with me. In a what-if storyline, we see Loki as Lord of all Asgard, looking back on his life with his enemies in chains all around him, including his half-brother Thor.
There's an almost Shakespearean tone to this story. You'd feel genuine empathy for Loki's doomed existence and gain a greater perspective for the intermingling of Marvel's Norse pantheon. There's not a lot of action in this volume, but it's no weaker for it. It's a genuinely moving story with amazing artwork by Ribic. Makes it a definite must-read.
Absolutely. Now, springing from the introspective to the action-packed, we come to number 3 on our list of stories. The Mighty Thor, Lord of Asgard. Far from the reign of Loki, Dan Jurgens, along with Stuart Immonen, Tom Rainey, Joe Bennett, and Dion Knuckles, shows us the result of Thor ruling over Asgard.
And it's equally as effective, as Thor slowly turns from hero to villain before being broken down and learning again what it is to be a god. There are some excellent throwdowns in this volume, with Grey Gargoyle and Dasak the God Slayer causing our favourite thunder god some serious headaches. It's a pretty riveting read.
Next on the block, we have Roger Landridge and Chris Samney's Thor the Mighty Avenger. Catapulting us out of Asgard and into modern times, this volume presents a retelling of Thor's first days on Earth that makes him a great deal more human and approachable than previous stories.
It's a lot more humorous than a lot of Thor storylines as well.
Storylines.
I will gag you.
Okay, I'll stop.
Thor faces off against Mr. Hyde and Namor the Submariner and still finds time to fall in love with an Earthwoman. It's a real shame that Marvel cut this series because it is such a fun ride.
Absolutely. And now, as any of you out there who know how to count will have already guessed, this brings us to our final pick. J. Michael Straczynski's Thor. After the death of the God of Thunder, this volume brings him back to life and reunites him with his former host, Donald Blake. There's a lot of humour and a lot of pathos to this story.
And some excellent artwork by Olivier Coipel, including some of the most outstanding representations of Thor's unmatchable power, as he brings his lost comrades back to life and tries to make his mark on a world that has all but forgotten him.
So that is our top 5 Thor stories. But as always, there are bound to be some that we've missed that you guys just love beyond measure. So please let us know about them on Facebook.
Or on Twitter.
Or on the YouTube comments.
Yeah, let us know what Norse-inspired comic awesomeness floats your longboat.
Yes, but to continue with my joke. So she goes home with this guy with the winged hat.
No, I told you it's not appropriate.